Hello everybody, my name is Nairi. I've had trigeminal neuralgia for a few years now and I consider my situation fairly stable on medication. I want to talk to you about an experience that I had recently, and so you can see some of the situations that you're going to come up against if you haven't already. So if you think you have trigeminal neuralgia, or you're going through the process of diagnosis, or you have been diagnosed, or even you have a chronic pain condition which is hidden, this channel is going to be useful for you. So let's get cracking. So recently I've been going for counselling. Now, it's not directly connected with my trigeminal neuralgia, although I'm sure my trigeminal neuralgia has not helped my mental health and my current situation, but it's not that reason why I've gone for it. Okay, so during the process of having the counselling, the counsellor has to have certain information around you. So they ask about health conditions. So the week before, I'd gone through all my health conditions, including TN. I'll call it TN for now, so that you guys know that I don't have to keep saying the whole thing. Told her about my TN the week before. So she had to go through a proper health questionnaire the week after. So just recently, she went through the questions again, and she said, "Can you tell me again about this thing that you have?" So I explained to her it's a facial pain condition, and I have to take medication that it's pretty hefty, and it does nerve blocking to stop those nerves shooting off their signals. That's the easiest way I can explain it, peeps, to laymen who don't understand what it is. So that's what I did. She kind of nodded. She went, okay. And previously we had set these sessions to midday, where I was pretty comfortable with that. So if you are like me and you're on carbamazepine, gabapentin, there are so many drugs that you could be on. I would suspect that a lot of you have what I would call brain fog, grogginess in the morning. I take my tablet just before I go to bed because then it doesn't affect my daily life as much. All right, so I could choose to take it earlier in the evening. I could choose to take it during the day, but then I might not be able to drive, or I might be able to drive, but I might not feel safe driving. So my choice is to take it around 10 o'clock at night, and I go to bed about 11. So as a consequence of this medication and other medication I'm on for other things, I find that in the morning is a struggle. And it could be to do with my mood as well, but I would suspect that more of it is to do with the medication, because I've always, since I've been on carbamazepine, struggled to get up in the morning. And if I try to get up too early, as in someone tries to wake me up and says, okay, you've got an hour to get out of bed, it will probably affect me for the rest of the day. So I have got used to just allowing my body to rest in the morning until I feel ready to get out of bed, until that feeling of overwhelming sort of groggy and sleepiness is gradually wearing off on its own, and then I get up when I'm ready. That affects my family, yes, but it puts me in a better place for the day. And then once I'm ready to start the day, I'm able to do a lot more. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how it is for me. It may be different for you, and I want to put a caveat on all of this. This is my experiences, and I've chosen to go on medication that has really helped my pain levels, and that's the way I've chosen to go. Okay, so you may be different, and that's absolutely fine. We've done a couple of sessions, and she threw the curveball in this session and said, "Do you think that we could bring it forward to 9 o'clock? She said, "I know you said you're not great in the mornings, but what do you think?" And then she said, because we've been talking about how my day is shortened to get things done, because I've got a really large family. We've been talking about other issues around, being there for other people, being there for myself, the things that you'd expect to talk about when you're talking about mental health. And I said to her that my day is shortened because of my condition and the fact that I'm on these medications, so I need to get up gradually in the morning, and then by 8 I'm quite tired. So I'm not ready to go to bed at 8 o'clock, but I am quite tired again. So she said, it might help you then, because you'd have more time to get things done. And as soon as she said that, I knew she didn't understand. And I don't blame her for that, but I'm sharing this because you're going to find the same. She sees me talking to her quite normally. I'm quite chatty, obviously you can see that. Shall we put it this way? I can make myself quite chatty. I feel like I'm a strong communicator when I need to be. So she sees me chatting away about my issues, and she thinks, how much difficulty could it possibly be for this lady to have a session at 9 o'clock? Most people, she's thinking, are up by 9, well before 9, and ready to start the day. She's thinking, I'm ready to start the day, I have a gap at 9 and I need to fill that gap. So me being me, this is the problem, right? I should have said no. I can't do it at 9 because I know that is a real push for me. So if I want to be ready for 9 to have a session, I need to be really woken up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I know that's too early. Now you might be looking at this and thinking, what are you talking about? Come on, woman, you need to get out of bed before then. But this is my reality, and I have learned that my reality with TN and learning to live with it and make the best of it and making the best of my situation is much better than trying to fight it. Is much better than not accepting it. And I'm at the situation where I don't get many pain flare-ups, although I do have another video to share with you, which might actually happen more than once a month this time round, because I've got something else to share with you fairly soon. But anyway, what I'm saying is I'm pretty stable. I wouldn't say in remission, because there's always days when I can feel something happening, and that's what I want to explain to you in another video, so stay tuned on the channel. So yeah, so I said okay. I said, well, I was thinking like really quick, she put me on the spot. I said, okay, what we'll do is we'll do one. We'll do next week's at 9. I said, you'll know if I'm not coping very well. I said, because I won't say a lot. I said, I'll be a lot quieter than normal. She went, oh, okay. And I think then's when she said, oh, you know, it might give you more time during the day to get things done. Now, if you look back on my channel, you'll see a discussion I had with a dentist, which wasn't my dentist, who started talking about holistic methods and started talking about almost you can talk yourself out of this pain type thing. I didn't feel that he was being unkind, but I felt like he was negating the pain. And lots of people will say, well, if you try this, it will go. If you do this, it will go. Well, I just want to say TN is here to stay. It doesn't just go. And people that say it just goes, good for them if that's their experience. But all of the research shows us that once you have it, you have it. And yes, you can have surgery to eliminate it, to take the compression out of the wherever it is you need to get the compression out of. So I'm not saying you can't be free of it, because if you have operational surgery, you might well be. But what I'm saying is if you haven't had anything done with your nerves, any operating, it's here to stay. So when people start saying to you, well, if you just do this, you'll be fine, or you know, perhaps if you've tried this, you'll be okay, I feel it's negating my experience of pain and almost negating my choices of how I'm going to move forward with that pain. And I felt she was minimizing what this disease actually is and what it's like, and also minimizing how hard it is for me to get out of bed. Because the next thing I want to say to you is, I was thinking, does she think that me not getting out of bed is a choice? And the way she was speaking must mean yes. She must think that if I work my life differently, I can get out of bed earlier and I can do more during the day. And so she must think it's a choice that I'm making to stay in bed later. And I know it isn't. In fact, it's actually really late now. It's actually lunchtime, and I've had quite a groggy morning, and I chose just to stay in bed for the morning because I felt that that was a better choice, a better option for me right now. And I'll explain more in another video as to why I think that. I don't want to give too much away in this video, but sometimes, you know, well, not sometimes, you know your own body better than someone else, and it doesn't really matter what they think. You know, if you're going through lots of flare-ups, for example, that you might have to take it more easy. If you're adjusting to medication, you certainly will have lots of problems. And in my case, a stable lifestyle means accepting that I have to get up a bit later in the morning, and I can't start doing things before I'm ready. So I'll give you another example. My husband and I were taking my son somewhere for the day, and we decided together that we were going to chat about what we were going to do around his homeschooling and some of the phone calls that we wanted to make and some of the emails we wanted to do. Now, I was pretty tired that morning, but I wanted to go in the car with him because I wanted us to go off and have that time together and sit down together. So we did. We sat down together and we had our discussion. However, all the way in the car over on the journey, I was yawning. I felt really groggy and a bit spacey, to be honest. In the cafe, I was yawning, felt groggy, felt a bit spacey. It took me until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon to feel normal again and to feel like I was functioning normally, where I could actually do anything. And that's because I was woken up at, I think, about 8 o'clock, because we had a car to get into the garage as well, and that's too early for me. It's just too early. So I wanted to share it because I know there'll be loads of people out there who will identify with this. Well, I hope so, because if I'm the only one who can't get out of bed, well, I do apologise, but I'm sure there'll be lots of you who understand, that have chronic pain, that are on medications for that how impactful that can be, albeit you're probably much better with your pain levels. So that's my sharing for today. Check out my channel. If you haven't met me before, go right back to the first video I put on, and you will see the actual story of trigeminal, and you'll get more information about the condition, and then sort of check out the rest of my videos. And I'll see you on my next video with Let's Face It Together. Thank you.